I am so happy that you're going to be joining me over the next couple days as we talk about getting past your past. And this is a topic that I'm really, really passionate about because I had a lot of past to overcome. I was raised in a violent neighborhood, in a violent home, and just in so much chaos that I've constantly had this very deep desire to feel safe that was never really met. And I say that because that came into play later in my life and some of the choices that I made. In addition to that, I was sexually abused by multiple people, both men and women, starting at the age of 5, and then raped as a teen. One of my abusers was my mother's boyfriend, and at that point, I was 13 years old. And I started finally standing up for myself, and I said, that's enough is enough, and I ran away from home. Once my mom realized that I was serious, she ended up saying, okay, it's fine, he'll go, come back home, you're fine. And that's not exactly what happened. I did come home, he was gone, but very soon after that, she left me alone with my 8-year-old brother for 3 months with nothing but $20 and a book of food stamps. And the food stamps and the money was gone very quickly, and I began stealing from the liquor store down the street to get food for my brother and I, and was just in a really vulnerable position. It was during that time in my life that I became involved with an older boy in my neighborhood. And at first, I thought he was a knight in shining armor. When he was around, I didn't have to steal from the liquor store because he would buy us food. And when he was around, I felt safe. I felt protected because he would tell me, if anybody messes with you, I've got your back. And so I became very deeply bonded to him in what I now know as a trauma bond, and really believed that my survival depended on him. And so when the relationship became physically and emotionally abusive, I stayed. I stayed because I thought it was normal. I stayed because I didn't think I was worth more. And eventually that relationship led me into the sex industry, where I began working as a stripper, and my boyfriend essentially became my pimp. Every single night I would come home from work and give him all my money. And my life was just, in a complete, absolute downward spiral. Just when I thought it couldn't get worse, it constantly did. And it was at that point in my life that I met a friend who changed my life. Her friendship with me was... she showed me unconditional love, and she showed me what it looked like to have self-respect and to have boundaries. And there was something about her that I knew I wanted. And as it turns out, she was Christian, and I was really kind of uneasy when I found that out, because I thought, I don't know much about Christians, but I'm pretty sure they don't like strippers. But she actually challenged any preconceived notion I had about what it meant to be a Christian, and loved me unconditionally, and just showed me the love of God until I was compelled to experience it for myself. And eventually I ended up in church and ended up on this journey of healing and of recovery, and just pursuing God and learning who I am in Him and who He is. And it did not happen overnight. Change did not happen overnight. Healing is absolutely a process, and there's no magic formula. And so I'm not going to give you a magic formula, but what I do hope to do over the next couple of days is give you a couple of tools that I really think can help along the way as we embark on the journey of moving past our past. And today I have the honor and privilege of running a nonprofit called Treasures that is an outreach and support group to women in the sex industry and victims of sex trafficking with a global reach. And I'm in a happy, healthy marriage to a man who shows me with his actions that he loves me. And I have a beautiful daughter, and we have a very precious relationship, and just the patterns and generational cycles that were handed down to me end with me. And what I can tell you is that it has not been easy. I've had to fight for it. And what I want you to know is you might have to fight for your healing. You might have to fight for your recovery, but it's worth it, and you're worth it.